First trail ride of the season. It was plus 15 yesterday. It was the first taste of real spring. And now it's like plus 4. Not as nice, not as sunny, but we're gonna do it anyway. Friggin' mud. Fuck. Are you kidding me? Didn't even get half the ride done. Chain snapped. Chain snapped. Those two are fighting. Friggin'. I'm upset because I broke my chain on an easy climb. And this chain isn't that old because it's the second chain I've had. I broke the other chain again on a climb. This one, ugh. This just pressures me to invest in a multi-tool, including a chain breaker, and like get some chain links so that I can fix this stuff myself on the trail, so I don't have to stop for more than, 5-10 minutes when I have an issue, and can just keep on trucking, because this putting an end to my ride cheeses me off. And like, stuff's gonna break, stuff's gonna happen, and I know that. I'm gonna have issues with the bike. Learning how to fix it is the thing I need to focus on.
He was an expert in that. That was his business.
I was on the phone with my mom when I was showing that car in the ditch, so I didn't really get to explain it at the time. But it's just this observation that I've had of like, man, living in Saskatchewan with the winters much worse there, and doing a lot of highway driving there too. Like, to compare that for, like 20 years of my life to coming to Lethbridge, and then just in the past year, because I've been going back from Coaldale to Lethbridge a lot, so just this past winter versus 20 years of winter in Saskatchewan, highway driving and whatever else, I have never seen, like, the amount of cars I've seen in the ditch just between Lethbridge and Coaldale, which is like, what, 12 kilometers or 11 kilometers or something, has surpassed what I've seen in my whole life with cars in the ditch. It's the craziest thing. It's like a good highway, it's fairly well maintained, and it's also just never been crazy bad. Like, there was like one blizzard here, like this winter. That was kind of it. And I decided I'm going to pick up a hitchhiker. So I'm going to end this off right now. I saw this dude on the street the other day, or on the highway, and I had Lily with me, so I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. And I didn't. And I've never picked up a hitchhiker before, but it's the same dude that I saw the other day. And I saw him today in Coaldale, and I'm just going to pick him up. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know why I feel like I should stop recording, but I feel like I should, so here we go. Well, it wasn't much of an adventure. It wasn't that interesting either. And I don't know. I had this, like I said, I had this strong feeling to pick him up the other day, because I saw him, but I was with Lily, so I didn't really want to do that. Figured he was just, I don't know where he was headed, but then I saw him at the gas station this morning. I went to get something for Randy, and I saw him there this morning. I was like, oh, it's the same dude, same amount of bags, same jacket and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess he just needed to come to Coaldale. And then, yeah, I just saw him on the side of the road while I was talking, and I was like, I figured he just needed to go to Lethbridge, so I pulled over and offered him a ride, and there you go. yeah, I asked him what his name was. He said it didn't matter. I don't know. I have this thing of just like, I've brought it up before, but when it comes to like recording less fortunate folks, it's not, I don't know. I've had discussions with other people and they've been like, well, that's not cool. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing it. I wouldn't do it in a way that is trying to be exploitative or to make light of or whatever. It's just part of my day. But especially when I've seen some people just real cracked out, you know, and it's like, man, that was part of my day. Like, that was something that happened, an experience I just had because of the way that they were constructing themselves in public. Then I felt weird about it and, like, didn't keep it. And yeah, I turned this off before I picked him up and didn't turn it on again. Till now. But, yeah, I don't know. He didn't seem that out there, but he also really wasn't talking about a lot other than a concept center, which he talked about kind of like a patent office. They're open 24/7, and he gave me an idea. He said that I was the first person that either picked him up today or that he talked to today, and so the idea was mine now. And apparently I'm supposed to call this concept center and tell them that my idea is to put little mirrors and recording devices inside of the gas tank like door, because apparently women will feel safer when they're gassing up, so that they can see if there's any creeps behind them. So I don't know, it's really hard to tell that dude's age. He's got to be in his 60s. Like, I don't know, got a lot of bags. I don't remember what I was saying before that. So it is April 12th, and man, like just a couple days ago it was plus 15, and now, I mean, I don't even know what the temperature is now, plus 4 or something, but it just dumped snow the other day again. It's going to be about another week before I can ride, probably, and that's if there's a lot of sun and it's melting everything and drying the trails. However, because my chain snapped and now my bike is at ascent, it'll probably be, you know, they said probably won't get around to it till Thursday or Friday, and I'm going to get a couple things done with it while it's there, rather than just getting a new chain. Investing finally in the multi-tool that's going to be threaded into the steering column, basically, and some chain links, and I don't know what else, but yeah, that way I can fix stuff on the fly, and it'll take maybe 5-10 minutes rather than, you know, screwing up my whole ride. And watch, my chain won't break again for, you know, ever, which would be nice. But I mean, now, whatever, I've got the surety that I can fix it right there. I don't know. That was a weird interaction. I don't know, it's just him talking a lot, but then like kind of expecting me to respond, but I didn't really have much to say. And like I said, I asked him his name, and he said it doesn't matter, and that threw me off. And the goodbye was really weird, because I was going to be like, oh, safe travels, and, you know, I don't know, I've never picked up a hitchhiker before, so it was a very short ride anyway, which I'm kind of glad about, because I don't know how I would have kept the conversation going for an hour or more. But yeah, he was like saying it's all about metaphor, and that we'll recognize each other's voices if we're to meet again. Cool. All right, I'm out. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the town we're at, but it's really close to Foremost. I shouldn't say town, village, hamlet. Apparently there's a population of 2 here, and it was small. It was already small, but it's like a abandoned ghost town now. Randy wanted to come here to take some photos, so that's what we're doing today. A little road trip with the girls. Not around anybody. Oh shoot. Except for that person who lives here still. Man, this is like the most haunted house looking thing I've ever seen in person. It's legit.
My camera stopped focusing, so I was like, fuck that, I'm out of here.
Like on the other side?
Yeah, on the far side.
Yeah, with the broken glass and stuff?
Yeah, I put my hand up, okay, on the back, I put my phone in and took pictures, and there were stairs.
Yeah.
And then I went around to the other side, and then there's a window, like
the one on the
lower.
bottom. That was...
I didn't put my hand in there.
Oh,
It was the one on top, I couldn't see in, so I just put my camera up in, or not my, yeah, my camera up in. And started taking pictures, and then I started hearing steps, and my camera...
That's what I thought was you, though.
And then my camera stopped focusing, so I was like, I'm fucking out of here.
I was like, just like a couple, like, I don't know, it was like 60 seconds behind you or something. But every time I like
and
went...
I couldn't find you, so I thought at first it was you, and then I was like, no, he wouldn't have went in and not told me.
No, and that's what I was, and then I finally got all the way around, and I was like, how did you get in? I didn't expect to see you sitting here. I'm glad I did. But that's the thing, like, you can only get it, you'd have to...
You want to go find out?
Not right now.
Me neither.
No, I'd be wearing a lot different gear and like going, but that person over there left their property, but then as soon as they saw me like at the front, they like went real slow.
Yeah, I saw that, so I don't know where you were.
I was in front here. The red car.
Oh, there was a dark car that drove by when I got to the front.
Oh, they didn't drive by, they like left that way, but then it was like they stopped.
Oh, there was a dark car that came up this way. You must have been at the back at that point.
Oh, yikes.
I don't know.
The whole 2 people who live here decided to get out as soon as...
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get out of here, I guess. I was super confused. This kid is a size 1. This goes up to 12, and she's bigger than the 12. The 2 shoes I showed you back there, one was a 3, and one was a 6. She's bigger than one and smaller than the other. This is dumb. This is the stupidest system ever. Ugh. Here's another thing with these damn kids' shoes. You look for anything with grip, they're all hard and smooth. They have patterns like it's supposed to be grippy, and it's not, because they're not soft and gummy at all. What a racket they got going on here. Weird little shoe rant from Walmart, but it also leads into like a longer thing about, I'm just gonna say parenting, which is a role that I feel like I've been filling now for months, and it's just weird to be doing parent-like things, and yeah, I don't know. I'm still really weird about the labels and terminology that I'm using to describe myself in that role, but anyway. So, my beef with Walmart and their shoes, their kids' shoes, first of all, the system for kids' shoes is just screwed up. Like, there was the 3s and the 6s, and Emma's a 1, and I was like, the 3s are way too big, which would make sense, but the 6s, which is a bigger number, are incredibly small. And it's like, okay, so there's 3 different sizes. There's toddlers, kids, and adults. And those 2 shoes were in the kids section, which is like not the fault of the system, but a fault of the store, I guess. But I don't know, it was just a mess. And then there was like this shoe chart in the kids section that went from 1 to 12, and the 1 was like toddler, and then the 12 was too small for Emma, and it was just like, it was just a mess. But that brings me, oh, that's the other thing, sorry. The grip, the friggin' grip. There's no grip on those shoes. Like, they're hard and smooth, and they have patterns on them, but those patterns don't provide any grip at all. It was the dumbest thing ever. So stupid. But anyway, yeah, the thing was, I was thinking about this just the other day, and I was talking to Randy about it too, and it kind of hit home again today. I was like, man, I don't know anything. I was like, like being thrown into this role at the age of the kids, not my age has nothing to do with it, but like being thrown into this role not from scratch provides so many opportunities for issues and problems, but also just for like funny little things where I feel like an idiot, I guess. Like the shoe thing, I'm like, I don't know, like I completely didn't understand how they sized things, how the system worked, like what is going on with this and that, and like whatever. So I just didn't understand any of that. But I mean, if I was there from birth of any kid, like if I was there and if it was like my child and whatever, and I was there from the very beginning, I would have learned those things at the same time Randy would have learned them. We would have learned them together. We would have been both noobs at the same time. But instead, it's just like, I don't know anything. And it, like, for so many things that it comes to, I don't know, when it comes to shopping for clothes and stuff like that is when I feel it the most. I'm just like, oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. Or even sometimes, like, I don't know, with, you know, going through the College of Education and getting that degree, I had to learn about early childhood development or just childhood development and like in your teens and all that type of psychological stuff. Like that stuff was there, but because I went into the secondary stream immediately, I didn't learn a lot about childhood development. It was more adolescence and like being in your teens because I am a high school teacher. So there's even some behavioral stuff. I'm like, really, that's a thing? Or like development stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that's kind of how that went. I just didn't know. And so, I don't know, it's just this weird, silly little thing where I feel really ignorant at times, and it shows when it's just like, man, like I had no idea about this or that. Like it was just, yeah, again, because I wasn't there from the very beginning. So Randy, like, I mean, from now, moving forward, it's like, well, Randy's never had a 9-year-old, right? So as Emma gets older, we're both experiencing that as a new thing. But up until, you know, the age of, well, I mean, I met Emma only like a couple months before she turned 8. So like up until 8 years old, I got nothing as far as experience goes with any of that stuff. And she has had that all happen. So then, like, you know, you've got another kid who's 5 years younger than the first one, and you're like, oh yeah, all this has happened before. I'm aware of how this works and how that works. And I'm like, man, I don't know anything. Like, I got nothing. I don't know. It's just I just feel like an idiot, like sometimes, because I'm like, I don't know how the shoes work. How do you buy the shoes? Like the shoes, they don't. What, like, why are there all these different sizes, and how can she, and the kids and toddlers are different, and then there's like this, anyway, I don't know, it's funny, because apparently me being an idiot is funny. Also, check this out, I mean, yesterday it was like +9, and then today it goes down to +3, and it's freaking snowing again, and it rained last night. I keep seeing in the weather forecast later in the week that it's gonna get sunny and nice, and then it's like 5 days straight where it says that, and then we're like, oh, finally it's gonna stick, and then this happens. And actually, I got my bike back like early, like really early. They gave it like, yeah. So I was like, hell yeah, I've got my bike, and we went for a ride yesterday in Coaldale before it rained. But it was like, okay, again, like now it's snowing, the trails are wet again, they have to like dry again, and I've got my bike back, and I, you know, looked up some videos on how to use my multi-tool properly when it comes to, you know, replacing a chain link and using the tire lever and all that stuff. Anyway, darn weather. I haven't started painting yet, but this is the first time I've mixed paint in months. Anytime recently that I've done a painting, it has been spray paint because it was quicker, or I worked on a painting or whatever. Like this is or I've used a little bit of ink or maybe a little bit of acrylic, but I haven't actually made like a painting that was, well, I mean, the background of this painting is spray paint, but yeah, I haven't had to mix paint for a while, and it's just so thick and beautiful and luscious. Yeah, I am really excited to paint right now. I'm just jazzed up right now from mixing the paint. Anyway, I'm just really excited to paint and super pumped, and I haven't even started painting yet, so the next 2 hours or so are going to be sick. Then we took a ride to Ascent because I needed to get a couple things. Emma's bike, as you can see here, this bike was bought kind of before I was around. She doesn't have room for a cage on there, really, so she can't carry a water bottle, and I only had one installed, so we got a second cage installed here and a water bottle that fits for her, so she can have her own water bottle when we go biking for long rides and stuff. And then I got this mini pump installed as well, made an appointment for my dropper post, and on the way though, her bike started, like, her chain started slipping off at the back, and I was like, oh, it looks like your chain's loose or something, like, I don't really know. And so they took a look at that really quick too. So here's another endorsement for Ascent Cycle in Lethbridge. So if you are in the Lethbridge area and you ride bikes or want to ride bikes, you should check them out because they're amazing and have the best customer service I've ever seen, just like pretty much hands down out of any business I've ever been to, ever. Yeah, so there's my plug, and that's gonna wrap up the vlog for this week. I'm hoping to get on a trail this weekend. It's going to be kind of dicey. It's beautiful weather right now, but as for the trails drying up and stuff by the weekend, I mean, it's Thursday right now, so I don't really know. Anyway, we'll see you on another time.